Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning from Franklin, Massachusetts. It is April 17th and it's almost 10 o'clock in the morning. That means it's almost time to start some fun stamping. So if you are with me, please pop on and invite your friends to take a look as well. I've got a fun tip to show you today. I'm very excited about this. Something that it's probably maybe not even new to you, but it was new to me. So I'm going to show you a fun little tip. So let's see. It's 10 o'clock, so let's officially get started. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Let's see. Does anybody have any? I don't have any messages just yet. Okay, but let's get started. So this week, I showed you two cards that I copied like 99% from two other demonstrators. So let me bring those in so you can see. This first one right here is from Demo Mary Fish. Very simple, elegant, crisp lines. I like it a lot. It's using the Gears and Textures bundle, which I think was so perfect. And I just love what she did. So I copied it. And I thought you might like to do it next week in my class. The other one, this is from Sue's Paper Creation. I don't even know Sue's last name, which is sad that I don't know that. But anyway, this I absolutely love. It's just fun. It was using three of the new income. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is it way up north? We're going to be up there next week. We're going to be in New York, Maine, at the Stage Neck Inn for our biannual trip. But what's the weather like in your neck of the woods? Anyway, I took three of the new in colors. I took Crisp Cantaloupe, Hydrangea Hue, and Barely Blush. And then this is Highland Heather. But look at how pretty that card is. I absolutely love it. So let's just get started. I think what we'll do first, let's do the Gears and Textures. Boy, I'm having trouble this morning. Textures to words to come out of this mouth. Anyway, let us start. I need to take a piece of basic beige cardstock, and I am going to fold it. And you know the routine, blah, blah, blah. We've got it folded, it's scored, give it a nice crisp press like that. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of basic white cardstock. Now this is a little bit different in dimension. This is a 3 3/4 by 5. And onto that, I'm going to take a piece of basic beige, and this piece is 4 3/4 by 3.5. Going to be in the late 6. Oh, that's good. It's kind of like our neck of the woods. Yesterday, at the height of the day, or not the height of the day, but the height of the temperature day, it was 89 degrees at my daughter's house in Amherst. 89. Can you even believe that? Anyway, this layer is 4 3/4 by 3.5. And what I did was I ran it through the Forever Plaid embossing folder, which happens to be one of my favorites. I love it. It's just simple, elegant. So I ran that through. So the next thing I need to do is I need to get this attached. So I'm going to bring my little silicone pad. I'm going to bring this. And what did I do with, oh, right here. I need my adhesive. And I'm just going to give this a little bit of adhesive on here. 60s later. That's good. I'm hoping it's going to be lovely weather next week when we go to Maine. Typically we get a little bit of rain, but I'm not going to say that word anymore because I don't want to jinx us. All right, so there is this on here like this. Let me bring this over so you can see. And I'm just going to give it a nice press. Isn't that a pretty though? Look at how I love the way that looks. I just love it. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm absolutely going to put it on the base of the card. You know, when we first came out with Basic Beige, I wasn't convinced that I was going to use it a lot. But now I am because I like it. I really like it a lot. So let me bring this over and make sure I get it east and west and north and south even. Looks pretty good to me. There was a little finurity right there. I just have to fix that. Okay, there we go. There's that. Now, I'm going to show you the stamp set. Here's the stamp set, Gears and Textures. It's got so many different designs in it. I absolutely love it. This is just a great card for the mechanic, the car mechanic or anybody who likes to putz around with things. But I just think it was really, really special. There's so many different stamps in here that you can use. And then the dies are absolutely beautiful. Let me bring in the dies. Hey, Kathy, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome aboard. So here is Gears. Oh, I'm sorry for that little shadow, that little light shadow. Anyway, look at all of you. You get 16 different dies in this lot. So today I used this one, I used this one, I used this one, and this one, and this one. I used 5 dies for this card. So let me show you what I did. And I did use the thick white cardstock because I think with this card, because you've got quite a bit that's being popped up right here, I think that it was better to use thick basic white thick cardstock, which is what I did. All right, so I already cut these out. Here's the large wheel, here's the smaller wheel. Here is a lattice, something or other, have no idea what it is. Here is a circle, and then here is this little piece of ladder looking like cut out, whatever. All right, so now the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put this piece on, but I have a little trick to show you, and I'm wicked excited about this. I'm going to put it on like about right here, but you can see that it is tiny, tiny, tiny little areas to add glue to. Now, I could have used the adhesive sheets and put it on. I could have done that, but I saw this little trick, and I have to show you how to do this. I think this is just brilliant. So you take your silicone pad, you take your Tombow glue, your wet glue, and you make a little puddle. Oh, actually, I'm going to put my puddle right up here so you can see. So let me get a puddle. Oops. Whew. Well, it looks like this Tombow is just about out. So let me get a new Tombow because I'm going to be using Tombow later on today. I've got a lot of projects that I'm doing. So let me get my whoops, gotta move it out here. Here's a brand new Tombow. I love Tombow. It's one of those adhesives that really is a great adhesive. It has lots of stickiness, and the best part of it is that it doesn't have much water in it, which is a good thing, because if paste or glue has a lot of water in it, it's really not a good adhesive in my opinion. Anyway, okay, so then the next thing I did, look at this. I don't even know where I saw it. It was on Facebook somewhere. Someone took, these are pastry brushes, silicone pastry brushes, and of course it has a little bit of extra length to it. This is about probably another 1.5 inches. But what you do is you take your scissors and you cut it down almost to the juncture of the base of the pastry brush, so that you've got your bristles. They're pretty stiff right here. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put your piece of paper on your silicone pad like I've got here, and then I'm just going to add little bits of glue to my brush like that, and then I'm going to come in and just do it like this, dab it like this, and I'm going to try not to move my piece of paper here, and that looks pretty good to me. Then I'm going to lift it up, and as you can see, if you can see very carefully, there's a tiny little bit of glue there, but not to worry, we're going to take care of that. So now I'm going to move my silicone pad out of the way. I'm going to bring my card in, and I'm going to put it in on my card like this. But isn't that genius? Look at that. Let's see, we're going to put this in just, oh, I have to put it over a little bit more, like this. But isn't that genius to use a pastry brush? Who knew that you could use a pastry brush for something other than pastry? It's kind of like dental floss when you need dental floss. Now, I'm going to take a baby wipe, and I'm just going to add a little tiny bit of water to it. And I'm just going to pat on this end here because I saw a tiny little bit of adhesive. And there you go. Ta-da, ta-da. How easy was that? And now let me tell you another little tip. If, for example, you're going to be doing a lot of projects and you need to have a lot of glue for that day, And say you're gonna, you've started it, but you have to come back to it a couple hours later. If you take a piece of saran wrap and you cover this little piece of glue right here, this little Tombow puddle right here, it will stay moist and it will not lose any of its adhesiveness. So you just cover it with saran wrap and you can come back later on and use it. Now, right now we're done with that. So I'm just going to, well, maybe actually, yeah, we are done with this. So now I'm just going to clean this off with my baby wipe like that. Or I could have gone and run it under the water, but there you go. Isn't that a great tip? I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. Let me get this. And of course, silicone pads are fantastic because it's a silicone pad and that it does exactly what it's supposed to do. There we go, brand new. No stickiness on the pad anymore. Okay, now moving right along, let me bring my card back in. Now the next one that I'm going to put on is, I'm going to put this big wheel on. Now this big wheel needs to have some dimensionals, so I'm going to take some of the large ones. I'm going to put a large one right here in the middle, like that. And then I'm going to use the smaller ones on the sides because they're small. And that's what we need. So I am going to put quite a few on because I want to make sure. Hey, Jan, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you could pop on this morning. How are you feeling, my friend? For some of you, some of you know that Jan broke both of her ankles. Big ouch. But she's recovering nicely, so that's all good news. How are you doing, my friend? Hey, Jan, good, Jan. Okay, and Steph is on too. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you, Steph, for popping on this morning. As you can see, I'm working on the gears and texture card, and I'm taking all the little pieces of paper off. And those little tiny mini glue dots, dimensionals, work perfectly on this larger gear. So I'm just going to take this off. I did put a lot on because I wanted to make sure that this stays popped up. I don't want any of it to fall down. So this is this. And one more. There we go. I think I've got them all. Okay, now let me bring my card in. And I'm going to put this on right like this. This looks good to me right here. Perfect. Pat that down. Now the next one is I'm going to take this one. And now I am going to use smaller ones because this is the smaller gear. I'm not a mechanic. I have no clue what these are. And I'm not necessarily going to put any around on the sides of this because I don't think it needs it. It didn't need it on my sample and I don't think it's going to need it here. Oh, you know what? This has to go on first. So this circle has to go on. And you know what? I have to cut these out because this is really, 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 really thin. So I'm just going to cut a strip of this. And then I'm going to come in with little pieces. Probably 4 will be good. Hey, Donna, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome aboard. Thank you very much for popping on this morning. There's that one. I'm just putting little strips of my mini dimensionals on this circle because I want to make sure that this stays popped up. And this is the one that goes on next. Actually, it really doesn't matter how you do this. You can do this however you want. But I just thought this was a great card, especially for people who are mechanics. Women mechanics, male mechanics, whoever, whatever you like. If this is a hobby, then great. But this would be a great birthday card, thinking of you, get well, get back to your gears as soon as you can kind of card. I just made that up. Isn't that good? All right, so here we go with this one. And this is going to go on here. Let me get this out of the way. I'm going to put this down here just like this. Whoops, I got one stuck to my finger. I think this looks good like here. Okay, now this little gear, this is going to overlap just a tiny little bit, and it's going to overlap the big gear just like that. Perfect. Now the little gate piece. This little gate piece, this is how cute. Oh, you know what? I should have used some of this. Let me bring this back in again. Let me bring this back in again. And let's see, for Steph and Jan and Donna, this is my trick of the day. You put a little puddle of your Tombow on your silicone pad. You get a pastry brush. You cut the ends of the pastry brush down almost to the the juncture of the thick part right here. You bring in your piece of paper like this, you get some glue on it, and just put the glue on like this. Talk about easy, and talk about fast, and talk about not having to worry about, I think we need just a little bit more, just a tiny little bit more. Not having to use adhesive sheets. But this is a brilliant idea. I don't even, I wish I could remember the person who showed this. It was one of those fast reels, which I have no clue how to do. Fast reels just, you know, they just drive me crazy because I have no idea how they do them or what, you know, what's the purpose. But anyway, you lift it up, and if you're very careful, you don't get any glue on this side. So now let me move this out of the way, move this out of the way, this out of the way, bring my card back in, and I'm going to put this on right here like this. Just like that. Bring it down just a little bit lower than the fence. I'm calling that a fence, like that. Okay. All right, then what I did was I took a piece of basic beige cardstock, and with basic beige ink, I stamped happy birthday. Now this piece, I am going to just take a piece of, use my snail adhesive and put it on like this. And this is going to cover this up just a little tiny bit like that. Isn't that so stinking cute? Now I have to check. Whoops. I grabbed that a little bit too fast. I just want to make sure. Whoops, got to come down just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now there's that. Now the next thing I did, let me get this out of the way. Let me move this. I got so much stuff on this desk. Okay, then I took, these are called pressed flower gems. These are old, they're retired, but I have a million different things, so people can choose when they're coming next week to class. You definitely can choose whatever you want. Actually, Mary Fish put white gems on this, which was absolutely gorgeous. But I like these, so I'm going to use these, and I've got plenty of these, so there's another reason to use them. And I'm going to use 2 different sizes. I'm going to take a large one. Whoops, that came right off on my finger. And this is going to go right in the center there. Perfect. And then I'm going to take another large one to put it... I must have adhesive on my finger like that. Perfect. And then I'm going to take a small one, and I'm going to put it where... I must have glue. I don't even need my pick tool. And I'm just going to put it, let's see, I'm going to put it right, I don't know, where, I think I'm going to put it right here. There. Perfect. All right, now the front is done. Isn't that cute? Isn't that a cute card? I just love it. Easy, easy, easy. Now on the inside, what I forgot to do was forgot to get a piece of paper for the inside for the one that I just made. But anyway, I took 3 different stamps and I just randomly stamped. I stamped the fence, I stamped one of the gears, and then I stamped this little lattice, making it look like gears. But isn't that a cute card? I just love it. I love it. I love it. So we're going to be doing this next week, Monday and Tuesday. All right, now let me come in and get the next one. Let me move all this stuff out of the way. I got so much stuff here. Actually, we're also working on things for a fair. We're doing a fair at Bellingham High School the week after we come back from Maine. And so Steph, who's on right now, Steph, I know you're at work. I hope you're not going to get in trouble, but it's very nice that you're joining us. Anyway, Steph, Jen, and myself are making all kinds of things for this fair. So that's, my desk is just loaded with stuff. Okay, so next thing is, the base of this card is basic white. So here is the card again. Let me just move this out of the way, get this here. And you know the routine, blah, blah, blah. We just take this and fold it, and it's already scored, so let me crisp it up a little bit. And then the next thing I did was I took a piece of white cardstock that measures 5 by 3 3/4. No, wait a minute. This is, yeah, is it? Multitasking. Very good. 5 by 3 3/4. Now, I'm going to show you this fun little thing. In order to get these pieces, what did I do with that piece? In order to get these pieces on here, what you need to do is cut a whole bunch of strips. These are 3/4 inch wide, and this is the 8.5 side. Actually, this one's on the 11 side, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter all. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick what I want for the center color. And I'm probably going to use, I think I'm going to use Crisp Cantaloupe. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get it adhered to that center line. And this is kind of like my guide. So I'm going to take my paper, my Crisp Cantaloupe, add some adhesive to it. And then I'm going to bring this in. Now what I want to do is I want to get this piece so that it covers this corner right down here. Let me push this up. So half and half of this paper is going to go on the corner just like this, right to the very edge, just like that. And then I'm going to bring it up like this. Okay, so that looks good to me. Now it's down, and when I look on the other side, it's absolutely perfect. See how that point comes right to the edge of the paper? And now I'm just going to trim this off like this on this side. Now you could put all of your strips on first and trim it out afterwards, but for some reason, I don't know why, I like to do it this way. All right, so the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Highland Heather, and I'm going to, again, add some, this is going to come here, so I'm going to add about this much adhesive. And remember, when you cut this off, the extra piece you might be able to use, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. So this is going to come, and it's going to abut right up to this. Perfect. Look at that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, and now come and clip this off. Now this little piece right here, I'm not going to throw away. You might think I could throw that away, but right for this particular moment in time, I'm just going to hold on to it because that might be all I need for that bottom edge, that bottom corner. All right, so the next one is going to be the Bailey Blush. Look at this pretty color. Isn't that luscious? Whew, whew, it's luscious. I just think it's, wouldn't this be so pretty in a, oh, I don't know, a prom dress, or I don't know, just a really pretty blouse. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. All right. So there's that one. And I should be doing it on my silicone pad, but I haven't wiped off that Tombow glue. And I'm not going to take the time to do that right now, but that's why I'm kind of doing it on my grid paper, which I shouldn't be. But we're all veteran stampers. We can wing it every once in a while, right? All right. Now, the next one is going to be the Hydrangea Hue. I love hydrangeas. And look at that. This is going to fit right here. Perfect. So let me just get this piece on here, and that's going to go here. And it is important when you're putting these pieces on to make sure it overlaps your right-hand corner and your bottom corner so that you've got it covered. See how nice that is on the bottom? So now I just have to trim these off. This one. And when you start in the middle like that, then you pretty much have a good pattern going. And yep. And because if you started from the bottom, it would be a little bit more awkward. So I think it's much easier to do it like this. Now I'm going to come in with another piece of this Hydrangea Hue. And this is going to be right next to that Crisp Cantaloupe. Remember when we had Crisp Cantaloupe? Now, of course, I want to go get some cantaloupe at the market because I do. It's funny how things trigger certain things. But look at how nice that fits. And again, whoa, whoa, that's not good, Barbara. No, we have to bring this right up. There we go. We have to get that perfect like that. Then trim these out. Multitasking, yes, you are. Don't we all multitask to some degree or another? Okay, that. Now let me take this one off. This is a fun card to make, I have to tell you. This was a lot of fun. All right, now the next color I'm going to do is I'm going to bring back this beautiful Bailey Blush. Look at that. Ooh. Now, you could do any color you want. And if you're coming to my class next week and you're not particularly interested in these colors, you can pick whatever colors you want because gosh knows I have the paper. But this was just really pretty because I used the in colors. And so did Susan's paper creations. I don't know her name even. But, whoops. And then this one, like this. I hope you don't think this is like watching paint dry. I'm trying to be a little fast. Okay, there's that. Now we're going to bring back my Highland Heather, and let's see if this scrap over here is going to work. And lo and behold, it is. See, there we go. You know how frugal I am. I just like to be resourceful. Maybe resourceful is the better word to use here. Resourceful. Let me put that in just like that. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I can envision this with that, that wood grain paper. I might even try that later on. That would be really pretty. But wait, I haven't finished here. All right, now the last one. Nope, it's not going to be the last one. We need a piece of crisp cantaloupe. This. And see, I'm going to show you. Perfect, like this. And then this gets trimmed. And then this gets trimmed. And then the last piece, because we've got a little tiny speck right there, we need a piece of hydrangea hue. So look, I just happen to have a little tiny piece left. Look at that. See, normally I would throw that out, but no, I'm not going to throw that out. There we go. Look at that. See? Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. Now, the next thing we do, look at that. Isn't that pretty? That's pretty in and of itself, because then it's going to go on this piece of hydrangea hue, and then it's going to go on the base. But what I did next was I took the Lazy Daisy embossing folder, and I ran it through, and I'm not going to do that now because by whatever, I already did it. So look at how pretty that looks. Isn't that pretty? Look at how pretty that embossing is. This is a very dense embossing folder, and I love it. But then what she also did, which was, this is the magic of it. You're going to take your craft white ink, and we're going to add a little bit of white to the top here. And I'm going to do this. I'm not going to go down like at an angle. I'm going to go straight. I'm going to put it here, and I'm just going to brush it over like this. And then I'm going to turn it on this side, and I'm going to do the same thing. And look at the difference. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? See, it pops those daisies right up. Now, because this is a craft ink, this needs to be dried with my heat tool. So I am going to go over to my heat tool for 30 seconds, and I'm going to dry it. I'll be right back. Hold, please. Have a drink of your tea or coffee or juice or wine, whatever. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I make no judgments. Almost done. Okay, I'm coming back. There we go, all done. And to prove that it's all done, I just run my finger over it and I pick up no white ink. All right, so now I'm going to put some adhesive on this. Isn't this pretty? Oh, I love this folder. And now I'm going to back this on the piece of hydrangea hue, just like this. East, west, north, and south. Jan, you didn't tell me how you were doing here. I hope you're doing better. All right, so then we're going to add some adhesive to this. Oh, wait, hold, please. I almost forgot. I put this absolutely beautiful white with the silver edging ribbon on it because I love it. So let's get this on before I forget, because I almost did, but not a problem. No worries. Let's just put this on. Let's make a knot, not a bow, just a knot. Not a bow. Get it? Not a bow. We'll make a knot. All right, there we go. I'm going to put this on. I know it's sticking a little to my grid paper, but not a problem. Where are my little tweezers? I think I've got them over there. I do. Never mind. I'll use my fingers. I can do this. Just a knot. And I'm going to pull that. Where's that other end? For goodness sakes. Oh, for heaven's sakes. There we go. Not perfect. And tighten it up. Let me lift this up. There we go. And I would just want to pull this up a little bit more. Isn't that pretty ribbon though? We have so many pretty ribbons. I'm a ribbon person. I'm a gem person. I like it all. Okay, there's that. This has to come up just a little bit more. Okay. All right, now I'm going to add just a little bit down here and here because I had it attached to the grid paper for a second. All right, I'm going to bring in my base. I'm going to put this on. And then I'm going to trim this out with my ribbon scissors. Look at that. It's so pretty. Oh, here's one. And another one. Okay, now, there, much better. Okay, now, as you saw on my sample, I took the word just, and then on the inside I wrote, because it's your birthday. There we go. All right, so I used, which I absolutely love, the Words of Beauty's dies and stamps. So this is a great set because it has so many different words. It has just because in the script, cursive, and then in the block lettering, then you have the words kind, sweet, you're a great friend, it's your birthday, I appreciate you, I think you're amazing, lovely, I love you, you're so lovely, you've been on my mind. So I just thought this was a really, really pretty set to have on hand. And what we're doing is I'm going to, again, take some adhesive and I'm going to glue this together. Here I am trying to figure this out. There we go. And you know what? I should have used my glue with the pastry brush, but I didn't. So let's see if there's just a little tiny bit of this left in here. Just a smidge. Let's see if I can get, oh, there isn't. That's all right. But you know what? Another thing, there is still a lot of life left in that Tombow. And so what I will do, because I'm frugal, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors, I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to use my pastry brush to scoop out some of the inside of that adhesive that's still left. I'm sure I have enough adhesive for quite a while. So, all right, let's put this on. The word just onto this mirror image of it. Like that. Isn't that pretty? Like that. And then, of course, I'm going to wink this. I'm definitely going to wink this because I can. Now, where did I put my winky? It's out here somewhere. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. Okay. There we go. And I'm just going to do the word just, not the background, because this is going to make it pop a little bit more, too. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I love Winky, and we've got new Winkies coming in the new catalog. By the way, if you have not received your catalog yet, please let me know. I did do a big mailing, but some people may not have received it yet, and I can double check on my end through Stampin' Up. But I also have catalogs here at my house. So, all right, so there is that. Now I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to use quite a few dimensionals on this. And the reason is because this has to cross over that ribbon. And anytime you have something that needs to stick to, or stick over a ribbon, you've got to make sure that you have enough adhesive. And you have to make sure that it doesn't stay on just the ribbon alone. You've got to secure it to the base of the card here and here, as well as part of the ribbon. So let's see how well I did here. Let me take these little pieces off. Okay. And then here's the word just. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it like this. There we go. I'm happy with that placement. So as you can see, I put dimensionals here, 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 and here. So the bottom is being anchored on this part of the paper, and the top, at least 2/3 of it, being anchored on top like that. Isn't that pretty? But we're not done yet. Where are my gems? We've got to put some gems on this because it needs gems. So let me get out my gems. And you can use whatever you want. You certainly could use new embellishments that come, with the in colors. You could do that. I'm just going to take this. And the reason I chose this is because I'm using a ribbon that has the silver on it. So it kind of matches nicely. Whoa! Hey, get back off my finger. What is it with my finger this morning? It doesn't feel like it's got Tombow on it, but it must. Okay, there's one. We can put as many as we want on. I think I'm going to put one here, there, and I'm going to put another one on, like, maybe. Whoa, they are not cooperating. Let me put one here. Instead of on the flower, let's put it, yeah, there we go. I'm going to put two more. I can't do even numbers. That would drive me crazy. That wouldn't be good for my eyeballs. But odd numbers work just fine. And one more. Let me put one right here. Okay, so there's the front. And now the inside, I'm going to take the Hydrangea Hue ink, and I'm going to take the word because it's your birthday. And I'm going to take my little Pierce pad. Here we go. I'm going to open this up. And I'm using the new ink pad. I love it. I absolutely love it. This is the new configuration. These apparently came from close to my heart. It's magnetic and it comes apart, or you can leave it like this. I absolutely love it. And it's so easy to open. You just flip with your fingernails, you don't even need your fingernails, just your fingers like this, pull it apart, and it can come apart like that, or it can stay like this. You can mount it like this if you wanted. Well, you could, but I wouldn't do that. But anyway, there's that. Let me take this, get my card back over here, and let me ink this up. And we're going to stamp because. Perfect. And then it's, whoa, that wasn't very perfect. It's your birthday. I need a lot of birthday cards. And it's your birthday. Perfect. There we go. And then we just take this little cover. Oh, this is actually the base. And you'll notice that I put my labels. I put a label on the inside, and then I put a label on the outside right there. Wait a minute. There. You can see it there, which is nice. I really like it. And they fit perfectly into my container that I had for my old stamps. So there we go. So that's that. What do you think? Here is this one. Actually, you know, I'm going to cut these ribbon things. Yeah, just a little tiny bit. Just a little bit. They were a little bit too long. But there. That's a little better. What do you think? This card and this card for next week. Gears and textures, and this one. I love it. I love it. Now, I want to show you one more thing. So I also stamped this. I also ran this through just on white. Look at how pretty this is. This is going to make a gorgeous card. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this yet, but this is going to make a gorgeous card. This folder is just so beautiful. And then I took the new die that Stampin' Up! Came out with. This is the product of the month for the month of April. And with any $75 product order, you can get this for $5. Look at how pretty this one is. I haven't poked out some of the holes. There are a few little holes that have to be poked out. But other than that, this is so pretty. Imagine putting this on a piece of colored cardstock behind it. Let me just see if you could see like that. But anyway, I'm going to do something pretty with that too as well. These would make really pretty hello, thinking of you, whatever you want. But I just think that's a really beautiful die. And this came out beautifully. No problem with running it through the Stampin' Cut machine. So anyway, friends, that's the story for today. I hope you've enjoyed these two cards that I showed you. And now it's time for me to say goodbye because I have to go back to working. I've got things to do for our trip to Maine, and then I have to finalize things for our fair, our first fair of the season at the Bellingham High School the week after we come back on that Saturday. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for dropping in. It means a lot to me. I appreciate your support. I hope you have a great rest of today. I hope you have a great weekend and a wonderful week next week. I will see you Friday. Next Friday, I'm going to be in Maine at the Stage Neck Inn. I won't actually be demonstrating cards, but I'm going to show you what other people are doing. So I hope you have a good one. I love you all. Thanks so much. Namaste, my friends. Bye.